Hello, and we are live back to TIMTOS 2025. It's Monday evening, and we've had a really packed day talking to customers, going around some stands, trying to find out more about machinery and about some of the new technology that's on show. One thing that stood out a little bit talking to some customers was they're finding it quite hard to show the differences in how unique their products are over the competition. In terms of their company, in terms of their machinery, in terms of their product. I mean, for example, we've got a vertical turning lathe here, which we'll go and have another look at, another one down the line over there. Someone we talked to just then was talking to us about the Taiwanese machine tool industry, because there's almost 200 to 500 machine builders here in Taiwan, mostly based in Taichung, which is in kind of the center of the country. And they were saying it's quite a struggle to differentiate themselves in the market. When really, you look at different machine tools, and from the outside, looking at just the covers, they look pretty similar. One thing we talked to was, one guy that we talked to was a man called Paul Cheng from Axile. He's the president of Axile. And we've done a few videos about these machines back in the UK, most notably one at River Circle Engineering in Norfolk. And these machines, again, they've got quite a unique construction, big trunnion type bed machines, but what I talked to Paul about was their machine monitoring system, which can handle measuring the carbon emissions per cycle in a machine tool, which for him is one of the most important things he thinks happening in the coming years is carbon reporting. So that's something really interesting we talked about today. And again, you can't really find out more about what makes these machines and companies different without going and talking to them. So we went and talked to Paul Cheng today at Axile. We're also going to talk to a company called APEC, who produce 5-axis machinery for aerospace components. So just about what makes an aerospace component and how they're trying to produce machines that can make those in one hit. But you don't see that unless you go and talk to people on the stand and find out more about what's happening underneath the machines and behind the covers. Elliot doesn't know where I'm going now, so I'm leading him a little bit astray. So that was an interesting topic. And I think as well as there being 200 to 500 machine builders in Taiwan, there are over 5,000 suppliers in the supply chain. And because of that, it makes it much easier for companies to develop, design and prototype machinery, CNC machinery, here versus anywhere else. So in Europe, in the UK maybe, even in the US, it might be hard to find suppliers that can bring control systems, amplifiers, drives, mechanical elements like linear guideways and ball screws, even the covers and the castings in the machines. Whereas in Taiwan, there's a man called Josh from Manford who's telling me about a prototype vertical lathe that they built from scratch. They designed it, built it, 1.6 meter table, all from scratch in 2 years. And he was explaining to me that it's so much easier when in Taiwan, you can call someone up, you can go pick up a control panel, half an hour down the road, you can go get a casting from North Taiwan, you can get the covers made in a different part of Taiwan. And that means that you can produce machinery as big as this. Look at this massive machine, big bed, traveling column bed machine. I'm sure this takes a lot of design and development, but this is much easier when you have a huge amount of skills in a country and also a huge amount of producers in a country that all have all the different components available for you to order almost on demand, and you can go and pick them up today. So that was something really interesting we talked about. Also today we've been going to, I'll see you later guys, thank you very much, I'll see you later. We've been talking to two companies, MYDAY and Fastcut, about their machinery. Unfortunately, we've not been able to even scratch the surface here in Hall 1, first floor, to even talk about half the machines that we see here, because there are so many different kinds of machines that it's been really hard to even, like I say, scratch the surface and talk to all these machine builders about what makes their machinery special, what makes their company special as well. And that's a really important thing. It's not just the product, it's the company behind it, and the passion that they have. So yeah, we're going to finish on a stand, MYDAY and Fastcut, which we're going to be going doing a factory tour of both those factories later in the week. But we've just arrived at the vertical turning lathe. Now this is the vertical lathe that my friend Josh from Manford, who I just met today, told me they designed this machine in 2 years, and he explained that it was much easier to do that in Taiwan, probably compared to lots of other different countries, simply because the machine builders are here, the skills and knowledge are here, all the mechanical elements can be bought pretty much on the doorstep. So that was really, really interesting. And like I say, scratching the surface even of the rest of the hall down here, because this hall is huge. There's over, I think it's 2,000 exhibitors here at TIMTOS 2025. This is hall 1, and I said we're on floor 1. There is a whole floor above me that's also full of machinery. So all these columns here, these are all taking the weight of probably hundreds of other machine tools. I've been absolutely blown away by just the sheer variety of machinery. So we've got lots of different robotic applications, CNC machines doing grinding, turning, milling, drilling, lots of CNC gun drilling machines. This is maybe doing some kind of polishing or grinding operation. And there's lots of machinery that I've never even heard of the brand name of. And yeah, like I say, it's hard to understand what makes machines different. And even here, 5-axis circular saw, doing really complex cuts in RSJs as well. So this is, I guess, maybe for the construction industry, or in this aluminium extrusion for, I guess it's a machine frame or some kind of temporary frame that's being put together. So it's some really interesting machinery. I've never even seen a machine like this before. Again, it's hard to scratch the surface. So I'm going to end on the stand that we did spend a bit of time on today, which we've been really lucky to be invited to go film at the factory here in Taiwan at Fastcut and at MYDAY as well. So we've been filming. This is the Centro Drive machine. It's a lathe that can drive a component from the middle of the component and then machine both sides simultaneously, reducing cycle times and making sure that even though you're clamping on what is kind of an uncut part of the component, even like a forging, some really horrible skin on it, you get really good concentricity and run out on these components. So that's really interesting as well. And they've been making these for about 20 years. And that was the father of the business who just said hello to me back there. He's the one who came up with the design and has the patents on the way they build these machines. And also a big flatbed lathe. If Elliot goes back there behind me, nice one, Elliot. Good panning skills. Big flatbed lathe by a company called MYDAY. And we're gonna be going to their factory later in the week as well, after TIMTOS, to go and find out how they make these massive flatbed mills, which are all specialist machines with loads of different kinds of tool posts, all for big shipbuilding components like power transmissions. And they can make these up to 25 meters long, which is amazing, absolutely out of this world. Unfortunately, they could only get, I think this is maybe 8 meter, 10 meter, 12 meter on the stand today, but there is a 25 meter available. Yeah, don't be worried about that. So that's it. That's a quick roundup of what we've seen today at TIMTOS 2025. It's only Monday. We've got 4 more days to go. So stay tuned for the live tomorrow, where I think we're going upstairs to go see what's happening in Hall 1.